as you call them.
They may have read the title and was like, what the hell? So controversial. What are you doing, bro? You can't say that, bro. You're gonna get totally shadow banned. Why am I actually making this video? Controversy has been appeared since the release of this update, and there are some good points alongside some very terrible points. I'm just gonna straight up say the brain dead community based standpoint, and you know, something that the criminals can be like, alright, we got someone that can actually think here. I've already made a video like this, but the reason why this idea ever even came to thought is because, you know, while I was just taking a shit, I was like, why not? Let me go on my old videos, right? On my archive channel, which, you know, obviously is archived. And I was watching it, I was like, damn, I was actually really enjoying this game and having fun and I was happy. And now my content is just me raging over and over while trying to play the game how it's supposed to be played and failing, pretty much. And I was like, you know what? 1.2 was objectively better than 1.3. Now, okay, don't just click off the video because I said that and you've heard my point and now you're like, okay, you know, this guy's an idiot. Actually listen to what I have to say, alright? Even though I'm saying this, it does not mean that 1.3 is a bad game / update at all whatsoever. I think it's fantastic. I just think 1.2 was more fantastic. V1.2 was more of like a relaxed kind of update. It wasn't nothing like huge or game breaking / changing, you know. It was calm. The updates that actually changed from 1.1 to 1.2 were in like the fundamentals of Crim. I'll call it framework, ironically. The game was enjoyable in its state. Not just because I was playing it for a long time, but because it was actually enjoyable. Like, even though there was some extremely stupid times, bugs and glitches and, you know, unbalances, that is what made the game fun and enjoyable. Even though that was incredibly an unfair time to play Crim, it was still enjoyable. I was having fun. Like, oh god, let me just... Alright, the game was more actually developed to be enjoyable and fun. 1.3, however, is aimed at nerfing gameplay balances, just adding more content. Also forgot to mention making the game realistic. Like, what is this shit, bro? I don't even need to explain what part of it is trying to be realistic. I'm proud every single person in the community already knows, so I won't need to give a demonstration. I don't even need to like star on the nerfs and buffs and changes that have happened, especially with this. Oh my god, what is that shit, bro? He's I could probably put gameplay balances in a section of like how they absolutely butchered the EXP that you get when you kill people. And I understand this change was made because of the Zogs and to stop Zogs. Well, what they don't realize is that there's always going to be some people that, by some I mean 90% of the community, are still going to be in huge gangs because they simply just do not care anymore. Even though it brings them massive amount of like less money, they can always just farm in about 2 seconds. From, let's say, 2 hours of Zerging, they could probably get back the money that they wasted in about 5-10 minutes. Probably just going in that building alone and just farming it would probably be enough. And for the Zogs, you might just be like, oh, you can just stay away from them, right? Yes, that's completely viable. But also, where is the enjoyability of the game? At that point, it's just a game of hide and seek. You might as well go to the actual hide and seek game itself. And wasn't that the problem that you guys were trying to solve from 1.2, where like there was massive amount of gangs? But I literally do not care. That this is not the main point of like what I'm trying to like admit to the audience right now. This is just a few things that are like, ugh. The update is great, right? Like, blah, blah, blah. The ammo changes, the refill, the new prices. Who cares? Okay. And then enjoyability of the game. No one cares about metas. I don't think I've actually enjoyed playing the game more than like 10 minutes without raging, like genuinely actually being angry. And I didn't even like at the near stages of like the end of 1.2, I'd not rage as much as I have in the past 2 days, which is saying something alone. I've played exactly the same style. I haven't been changing my playstyle. I've been playing exactly how I have both updates. I'm probably the most reliable person for this information. I feel like realism kind of took over and made it into a completely new game. If RV wants to go in that direction, I could care less. Like, good for him, you know. For the rest of the community and maybe the fate of the game itself, maybe not so much. In the end, I still do recognize, you know, the greats of 1.3, the new weapons, lighting, ambience, models, etc. There has been a great job of it. Personally, I'm hoping RV changes this update in some way. Imagine if 1.3 was actually nurtured to where the game was supposed to be enjoyable instead of realistic and balances and nerfs and etc. Like, who cares if the metal bat was too OP, right? It wasn't game breaking in any way. Look, let's go. It's like she can't even reach me because I can just jump away and run. Like, is that really supposed to happen? Imagine this, like, all the content added to the game, right? The new content, the baton, the ballet song, in 1.2's like kind of meta. That would have been an incredible update, and I don't think a single person would have complained. Were they making this change expecting hate or not? That is probably the main question I have right now for the developers. Were they like, alright, everyone's gonna enjoy this update because, you know, we've added so much stuff, we've changed it, and you know, players gonna be excited, right? Were they really thinking that, or were they like, okay, this might get some hate? Because I don't think there's a single way that they would have released this update knowing that it would get this much, you know, negative retention. Maybe poor testing led to it. This whole update is literally the embodiment of looks good on paper, did not execute well. Funnily enough, Aethelborn 2 actually had the same problem. In tests, the game was great and everything because they were only testing with few players, right? And like, you know, the gameplay was fine, it wasn't lagging. As soon as they released it to the public, where, you know, there was actually many more people doing much more unorthodox things, it all went to shit, and Aethelborn 2's release was complete dog shit. This is kind of like the same thing, except it's more professional and not a team full of kids. Personally, I like the update, but seeing my old videos in 1.2 and me actually enjoying the game made me sad and was like, man, this update could have been so much better.